we're starting up. We're going to do obviously the Nintendo stuff at the end. We're gonna go through the direct. We're gonna go through the direct, and then we're gonna go through like the news stories and articles that came out after that happened. So let's just start from the top. Again, not a lot of news because the Nintendo Direct kind of took up the majority of the week. First, let's just get this out of the way first. Let's just get this out of the way first. All right, layoffs at Eidos Montreal. This is Chris Scullion, VGC. All right. So Eidos Montreal, who's done, what have they done? Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, well, the new Tomb Raider stuff. I think they did the Avengers game. I think they worked on Rivals as well. They've done a lot, but mainly the new Tomb Raider stuff, which is a pretty good hit, a pretty big hit. So Eidos Montreal is laying off 75 staff, saying it's unable to move them to other projects. The Embracer-owned Embracer Group, back at it again. The Embracer-owned studio posted a statement on its LinkedIn page saying it had to let the staff go because one of its mandates was ending. Interesting. The statement said, "Today we informed our studio staff that we are going to let go up to 75 valuable members as one of our mandates is coming to an end. It's not a reflection of their dedication or skills, but unfortunately we don't have the capacity to entirely reallocate them to our other ongoing projects and services. These very talented, highly experienced experts are going to enter the employment market, and we are working to support them through this transition. Eidos Montreal stays committed to deliver its other projects currently in development." What were they working on exactly? I don't think we'll ever know because this is a pretty big chunk of people. Embrace Group bought them in 2022. Yeah, they did the new Tomb Raider series with Crystal Dynamics. It's like, you almost get tired of like reading these stories, but like it needs to be read. You know, you have to like, it's an overall thing. It has to be spoken about. It's just like, it's just every week. It's just every single week. It's so disheartening. A little bit more uplifting. It's like only two like kind of major news stories today. Kingdom Hearts veteran to be awarded special prize at BAFTA. Yoko Shimomura, a composer who did the majority of like the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack, who also worked on Final Fantasy Street Fighter. Composer behind Final Fantasy 15, right? That's 15? Sure. Xenoblade Chronicles and Kingdom Hearts is to be honored with a special award at this year's BAFTA Game Awards. They'll receive the BAFTA Fellowship, marking her contribution to the video game industry over the years. Her credits include Kingdom Hearts series, Final Fantasy 15, Mario and Luigi, Final Fantasy 15, Mario and Luigi, Xenoblade Chronicles, Streets of Rage, the Mana series, Super Mario RPG, Live Alive, I forget how that's pronounced, Radiant Historia, Parasite Eve, Breather of Fire, and Street Fighter 2. In response, she said, "I'm delighted to receive such an amazing and prestigious award although honestly speaking, I still cannot quite believe it. I am who I am today thanks to all the people who have supported me, allowing me to continue being involved with the music that I love and discovering the medium of games where the music can flourish. I am deeply grateful to everyone in the games industry, to those who asked me to write my music, and to all those who listen to it. I would like for them and for everyone who has been a part of my life to join with me in celebrating this award. Thank you so much." And it goes on to like former winners. But if you look at what she's done in Kingdom Hearts specifically, it's basically all of the music that's not the main themes. Where is it? Okay, so yeah. So there's like a website dedicated to her. So if you go into like just Kingdom Hearts and you go into the composer, it's like the main theme, which is Utada, of course, but then everything else is her. Like everything else is her. It's so much. Dearly Beloved, the Destiny Island theme, Dive Into the Heart, the Traverse Town theme, like all of the classic background music, or iconic background music, I should say, from those games. It's so sick. Hell yeah. This was Jordan Miller, VGC, by the way. Let me add this in here. All right, moving on. Just a few things. This is just a smaller stuff, couple smaller things. Monster Hunter Wilds is breaking records. Smashes past 10 million sold. Sets new record for Capcom. This is Jordan Miller, VGC. It's now the 6th best-selling Capcom game ever. 10 million copies in the first month. The game, which released in February, already broke a Capcom record by flying past 8 million copies sold in its opening week. It's now closing in on half of Monster Hunter World's lifetime sales. Damn. Monster Hunter World is Capcom's best-selling game ever at around 22 million. Monster Hunter Wilds is well on its way to matching it. This announcement means that Monster Hunter Wilds is now the sixth best-selling Capcom game ever, setting just behind Resident Evil Village. That's pretty awesome. They were mentioning something like this last week, and I was like, yeah, there's no reason this shouldn't pass Monster Hunter World. Honestly, it's a much better game. And so many more people are getting into it this time around, which is awesome. So hell yeah, let's go. Well, we started playing it. It's a real fun game. Some odd mod choices, but there's a game in there, and it's very fun. Another small cool thing: Evercade is releasing a Neo Geo cartridge handheld. This is like so little and cool. The first product from Evercade's partnership with SNK, Chris Scully and VGC. Evercade manufacturer Blaze Entertainment has revealed the first of the products it will be releasing as part of the new partnership with SNK Corporation. The company will be releasing an Evercade cartridge focused entirely on Neo Geo arcade games, as well as new Neo Geo themed version of its Super Pocket line handhelds. The cartridge, which will be named Neo Geo Arcade 1, contains 6 Neo Geo arcade games and will be released in July at $25. The cartridge will be compatible with all Evercade systems, including Evercade Alpha arcade cabinets, and will include the following 6 games: Metal Slug, King of Fighters 2000, Shock Troopers, Magician Lord, Sengoku, and Ironclad. We can watch this little teaser thing here. I say little, it's 11 minutes long. But look how cool this little thing is. Look at this little guy. Just play like little tiny games on here. Why not? And you get the little tiny cartridge, little tiny arcade cabinet. It's so cool. I like this. I like this a lot. Get the little thing, get the little handheld. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so moving on to some chat picks before we hit the Nintendo stuff. First off, from IGN, Eric Van Allen. A new Destiny partnership or collaboration crossover with Sea of Thieves. I haven't looked at this yet. Let's see what this looks like. Nice. Those are some really... The ships and the equipment is super cool, actually. Man, some of these partnerships like really make me want to go back and play Sea of Thieves, but it's just like so... That game's so hard. That game's so hard and it's so time consuming. But all these like partnerships are really cool. Get it? Partnerships? Get it? You get it? Let me make it big. Just go through it real fast. How cool is this? I like the like Warlock stuff. Yeah, so another cool collab. I like that a lot. I did post that. Okay. Next, Split Fiction is breaking records as well. But Guinness World Records, that is. This is Justin Wagner, PC gamer. So it has broken several Guinness World Records that quote seem to be won specifically by Split Fiction. The records are most played local co-op video game on Steam, most sold local co-op video game within 48 hours of release, and most sold local co-op video game within 1 week of release. So very specific Guinness World Records, but it holds those at this point. It's also worth noting that local co-op isn't compulsory in Split Fiction, and Guinness's other multiplayer angled records have mostly to do with MMOs. Resident Evil snagged one for worst dialogue in a video game is so funny. So again, very popular. We'll get to it eventually. That's pretty cool. Next, is the Pal World dating sim real? I forgot to check today if it's still in the store. What is this one called? It's called More Than Just Pals. So this is Michael Kripe, IGN. So April Fool's joke that they specifically said, hey, there's no April Fool's joke here. And then people were like, huh? It's as of right now, still in the Steam store to add to your wish list. As of right now. As it's under to be announced / to be released. So Pocket Bear has announced Pal World More Than Just Pals, a dating sim set in its massively popular monster catching universe. I don't like this. This is weird. This is the official trailer right here. This is so weird. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. But I'm sure there's some people that are all about this. Not me. Oh, they said right here, posting this one day before April Fool's Day is the ultimate troll. This doesn't concern April Fools. Smiley face. Huh? I guess only time will tell if this is an actual game. I would honestly would not be surprised if it releases. It'd be pretty funny because people will meme about it. As of right now, it's not confirmed to be a joke or real. We'll find out. Next up, there was Marvel Rivals announced their new update. They also announced a performance patch. We'll go through first. So they acknowledged, oh, wait, this is Morgan Park, PC Gamer. They acknowledged that the game has been like eating up too much RAM. So they're putting up a patch. On PC, we realized that optimization is a big problem, especially for the memory consumption. Marvel Rivals lead tech designer, Wei Kang Ruan, I don't know how to pronounce that, I apologize, told PC Gamer during an interview at GDC 2025. So maybe in season 2, we will have an experimental checkbox in our launcher players can use to reduce memory consumption significantly. That checkbox can't come any sooner. So it's not been running great in general. So hopefully this patch does help a lot of it. And then there was also a new update. Where is this? On Kotaku, we'll bring it up. So this was yesterday. This is Zach Swyzen in Kotaku. So they announced new skins. They announced new heroes. So you got your third white blonde lady with a white suit with Emma Frost. I think she's a tank, but like, come on now, come on now. I think there was also an Ultron thing in here. Yeah, I mean that's how you know she's tank. I'm actually gonna put the audio for this one. Hold on. I actually haven't watched this. Oops.
The Hellfire Gala.
The Hellfire Gala.
To Krakoa.
It's Krakoa.
This living island may be a sovereign
So we got new skins here, or new outfits for the current characters, and Emma Frost herself. Toast to Krakoa. Uh-oh. Yeah, let's go. It's pretty hype.
Try to stay alive just long enough to see my way as the age of Ultron begins.
Let's go. Finally, a whole new thing, but it begins April 11th. That is in 7 days, 1 week. Pretty exciting. Hopefully they reset the ranks. All right, and lastly, before we move on to the other stuff, let me get rid of all of these tabs here. Let's go through the Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2. So it's an hour-long presentation. We're just gonna skip through it because we did watch it in Discord as it was happening. All right, so they did a little teaser at the beginning for the new Mario Kart. So the new designs, whole new areas, and then I think they go a little bit more in depth after the introduction.
Throughout various regions that span the globe.
So it's like semi-open world.
Depending on the time of day and weather conditions.
There's weather
the
stuff.
atmosphere
There's
will
tons of new characters. There's a giant map.
the wheel.
You could do Grand Prixes through the world. You can do, I forget what it's called, but you can cross the entire map in a race where it's like Showdown or something where people get eliminated. This is you driving off-road, exploring,
So drive wherever your heart takes you.
drive wherever you want. Apparently, which is
You can also go
which
for
is
scenic
fun. I
drives
mean,
with
it'd be fun to
friends.
do.
And even take
Something
photos
different, you know?
at different locations.
And then they went over Some other cool features like the new chat that looks suspiciously exactly like Discord. Some new chat functionality, voice chat, as well as streaming gameplay. There's a microphone on the thing itself, which apparently has some noise canceling capabilities, stuff like that. So you can stream different games. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look great when you're doing this. So, but it is a Nintendo Switch handheld. So it's like, it's a handheld device. So like, it's not gonna be great. You know, you got your C button, which is basically your chat button. It just brings up the chat stuff. And there's also a new Switch webcam thing that you can do. That you can get. I think it's like 60 bucks or something for this camera. This like 480p camera. You can put your little faces in Mario Party, which is kind of cool. I don't mind this. This is kind of cool. But in terms of like putting it in the games, you're leaving a lot. It's a lot of faith in humanity here, because like, especially with something like this, like if you're doing this over the internet, get the subtitles out of here. That's dangerous. That's just dangerous. And then there's some game. When they announced there's some game sharing, kind of like how the DS did, where you can just like virtually or stream the multiplayer games instead of having to only do on one system. You've got game share on some of the games here. They went through some of the specs. It's gonna be a decent amount bigger. Same thickness, but a decent amount bigger. It's not an OLED. It's not an OLED. That's something that's important. It's not an OLED. But it is 1080, 120 frames on the games that support 120 frames. So that's pretty cool. I think it's 4K 60 capped when it's docked. But even 4K 60 docked is pretty nutso bongos for a Switch. That's actually super impressive. Joy-Cons are magnetic. That's confirmed. There was a lot of leaks. There was a lot of leaks these past few months. I didn't put any of them like in these news segments because I didn't want to like perpetuate leaks. But most of the leaks were right. Most of the leaks were right. They got bigger buttons, bigger joysticks, bigger controller in general. So it should feel a little bit better. Stick shift should be better. You got mouse capabilities. And don't worry, they go into that. They go into that hard. They got Dolby or whatever. There's USB-C on them directly. A couple USB-As on the dock itself. So you can do 2160 4K in the dock. Capped at 60 frames. There's a fan in the dock, which is pretty cool. I do like that a lot. There's a fan in the dock. And then they move on. They showcase this Switch Tour
There are a lot of question mark icons
game.
Let's examine them.
Thing where it like tells you all about the
To examine
console.
signs like these, you can discover
Unfortunately,
all
it's a
sorts
paid
of
service,
secrets about
or it's a
Nintendo
paid
Switch too.
thing.
You can adjust the position
They're
of
showing
the
off the
joystick
mouse
and play
capabilities
controls
on the
with your
Joy-Cons
controller.
here, so you could play like top-down motion games. You could shake the maracas and stuff, scrape some paint. So, talking about cross and backwards compatibility, most of it's going to be either a Switch 2 exclusive game or a compatible Switch game with like a Switch 2 version. The new cartridges are a lot faster. They've got what is basically proprietary SD cards now. You can't just use any SD card. It has to be micro SD Express specifically. Any of the other ones just won't work. The regular micro, it has to be Express. The regular micros just won't work. So that's cool. Love that. Transfer data easy. The new Pro controller does have built-in back buttons, which is pretty cool. I like that a lot. The gurgle button is GRGL, gurgle. So if you want to gurgle, you get the new Pro controller. And then what else? There was Switch 2 editions of current Switch games. So the new Super Mario has a Switch 2 edition with a little bit of extra content, which is all like mouse control and voice control mini games and stuff like that. So you can put yourself in there. You can feel rumble. Like you could put yourself in the game. This is all specific to the Switch 2. Right? Not a feature that I would really want to just get a new console for, just because no thank you. But some of these minigames look pretty cool. There is high-res updates to both Zelda games, so they are gonna look a lot better. Like the smoothness on these, even just on the stream, is like so cool. The Switch 2 does do DLSS. That was confirmed as well. A Zelda Notes app, you don't need this. This is just too much, I think. No one's gonna use this. It's just you have a navigator on your phone. Also, Forgotten Land got a Switch 2 edition with a little bit more content as well. Then they go into Pokemans as well, getting an update, which is cool. They announced a new game that's really utilizes the mouse controls fully. So it's this basketball game. Pretty basic, but like looks pretty fun. If it's like $20, maybe it's worth it. I wouldn't pay more than $20 for this if it's even a paid game. I would hope that it's not a paid game, but you know, whatever. There was a thing where the app can pass items, but and you can just get the items in the game. Yeah, so it's all supposed to feel like you're actually doing stuff, like actually moving wheels and things. They announced Elden Ring coming to the Switch 2, which is kind of insane. Hades 2 coming to the Switch 2, also insane. Street Fighter 6. And then we go into a bunch of like Split Fiction. EA games, Tony Hawk with SpongeBob. They teased that they're working on a new 007 game, which is pretty cool. I think also Hogwarts Legacy was in there somewhere with some new content or something. Go through a bunch of like other games like Yakuza, a bunch of JRPGs. They announced the next Zelda game. It's a Hyrule Warriors game. But it's like Imprisoning War or Age of Imprisonment, something like that. It looks pretty cool. I mean, I'll probably get this and play it for sure. It's a prequel to, not really a prequel, it's like a side-by-side to Tears of the Kingdom, what Zelda was doing while she was in the past. It looks pretty cool. It's pretty hype. They announced exclusively for the Switch 2 the GameCube online thing. So you get some GameCube games, and they showed off some of them. And the wireless controller, which I would love to get that controller. So you got Wind Waker, you got Soul Calibur 2, F-Zero GX. A lot of people say this is like the best F-Zero game ever. Play online. And then there's some more, yeah, when it shows here. So you got Sunshine, you've got Fire Emblem, you've got Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon Coliseum. That's huge. So a lot of good games exclusively to the Switch 2 though. And don't worry, if you're wondering, yes, the new GameCube controller does have the C button on it. Even though it has a C stick, it's also got a C button now. What else did they show? What's this? Not Undertale, it's the other one. Deltarune, Chapter 3 and 4. Borderlands 4 coming to the Switch as well. Civilization, 2K games. A new survival craft. It's like kids survival or survival kids something. What is this called? It looks super jank, super basic. Yeah, survival kids. What else we got? What else we got? The next. What was this? Yeah, it's an Astroneer. Spiritual successor or whatever. Cyberpunk's somehow gonna be on the Switch. I just don't think there's any way. Final Fantasy Remake. will be on there as well. And then a sizzle reel, a bunch of like, there's some big ones that they like, just like kind of skipped over. Hollow Knight Silk Song is huge. Wild Hearts is huge, going on the Switch. I can't wait for this game to come out. I want to play. I'm on PC. I'm gonna play that Witch game, but Rune Factory. This game is gonna. It looks like a lot of fun as well. Cosmic Invasion. Star Wars Outlaws is somehow gonna be playable on the Switch. I don't think there's any way, dude. So a lot of stuff. Fast Fusion, Shadow Labyrinth, Reanimal, Fortnite, of course, Professor Layton, Tamagotchi Plaza, Human Fall Flat 2. A lot of stuff in that sizzle reel. And then one of the biggest surprises ever. We're gonna watch this whole thing. Watch this whole fucking thing, gamers.
I give you my blood. I give you my life. Turn, O wheel, and transport him
This was happening. We're like, what the fuck is this?
to a night
Resident
of
Evil?
moonlight,
Maybe?
to humanity's very dusk.
And I was like, what's this? What's this symbol? I feel like I've seen that before. And then From Software pops up and everyone's like, what the fuck? Look at it. Some of the architecture is similar to Bloodborne. Some of it's similar to Elden Ring. Look at this. People are saying maybe it's similar to Night Rain, where because this is, I think, like an 8-person PvPvE, something like that. There's this guy, this robot dude. He's got a jetpack. That's cool. That moon thing is so sick, dude. And then he jumps, and it's so cool. He's eating people. He's sucking them dry. Big old frog biddies. Who's that guy?
Close your eyes and contemplate now the moon, as befits the soon to depart.
Look at him jump, and he shoots.
I pray that you are able,
It kind of looks like Blade.
carrier of blood.
On a weird horse monster thing. That's a T-Rex. That's just a T-Rex he turned into. This guy's singing. He's having a good time. That looks cool. Got magic. It looks like glintstone magic.
Tears will flow for one,
And there's this guy. He's in his PJs.
and one alone.
Dusk Bloods. So sick. Switch to exclusive game. Switch to exclusive FromSoft game is like insanity. Comes out next year, according to this.
Developers who appeared today, as well as our publishing and development partners,
Back to lower this a little bit.
prepared footage for this presentation.
And they announced another Kirby game, Kirby Air Riders. It's going. There it is. So, would like to see more about that. Might be kind of fun. And then it was this one, which you're like, what the hell is this? And there he is. DK punches into frame. So we got our brand new open world Donkey Kong game. He's in overalls for some reason. We don't know where Diddy is. Oh, so I mean, this looks fun. I like all the colors. It's super. I like the punching. The punching's so great. You just punch through everything. He's so angy. The fact that you could just punch and break seemingly everything looks like it's gonna be so satisfying. It looks like it's gonna be so satisfying to just destroy the world. But yeah, looks like fun game. Fun game, looks fun. I think that was the last thing. And they showed that
Official Nintendo.
the boxes here. So you've got the standard and the box, the bundle with Mario Kart World. So Mario Kart's going to be a big seller again, just inherently for just being in the bundle. And basically immediately after the fact, they did start announcing prices. Switch 2 was announced to be $450 for the base one and $499 for the bundle. It's going to be way cheaper to get the bundle. The games are going to be like 80 or 90 bucks. They said all the digital games are going to be $80. Most likely the physical copies are going to be $10 more, so $90. People were like, what the hell, Tears of the Kingdom, 70 bucks? Now it's just going to be ugh, right? For sure, GTA 6 is going to come out at $100 now. There's just no way they don't do that after saying this. So the Switch 2 Welcome Tour game thing that's supposed to introduce you to the console is going to be like $7. It's not a lot at all, but it's still odd choice to make this a paid thing instead of a free thing. Like, I think Astrobot was free on the PlayStation originally. Like that, not the game, but the intro thing. And then now we got Chris Scullion on VGC saying that most likely that price was influenced by tariffs by some like weird baby orange man. So that's pretty unfortunate. And then there's a follow-up that happened today that Switch 2, the pre-orders were set for, I think, the 9th, and they've officially delayed pre-orders. Like most websites, they just turned them off. Or like not just turn them off because they weren't live yet, but they basically cut out all the marketing for the date. So they even said themselves, pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2, by the way, this is Jordan Midler, VGC. Pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch 2 in the US will not start April 9th, 2025 in order to assess the potential impact of tariffs and evolving market conditions, Nintendo said in a statement to GameSpot. Nintendo will update timing at a later date. The launch date of June 5th, 2025 is unchanged. So launch date is still June 5th. So not too far away from now. But pre-orders are going to be delayed, which is unfortunate. Battery life is confirmed. Obviously higher than the official Switch. They said it's a 5200 milliamp battery, which the original Switch had a 4300 milliamp battery. So a significant increase, about like what, a quarter ish, at least a fifth. So around 9 hours. Pricing here was confirmed, like I said, $450. And inside the box you'll get the same as always, the console, the Joy-Cons, the grips, the straps, the dock, the HDMI, the AC adapter, and USB-C charging cable. The new charging cable is not built into the block this time. It's something that you could detach, which is pretty nice. The Mario Kart bundle will be $499. So going with the bundle, at least specifically for Mario Kart, is the better way, because you're saving $40 on the game by buying the bundle, because it's supposed to be separately at least 80 bucks if you're going with the digital one. And then yeah, Mario Kart World will cost $80, which is what, the most expensive Switch game ever, something like that. And there's going to be a direct specifically for Mario Kart in a couple weeks. Wall jumping, grinding, a lot of new characters. Accessory prices: the Switch 2 Pro controller will be $80. Nuts. The camera will actually be $60. So that's a lot. The GameCube controller will be $65. That's not the worst, honestly, for that controller. I might get that. The Nintendo branded micro SD is going to be $55 for a 256. That's so much. You can get a regular one for at least half that right now. And it's just a micro SD. Got a couple more of these here with the little follow-up. Because they a lot of details weren't in that direct. They waited until after the fact to put these out. So the GameCube controller will only be offered to those who pre-order the console. That's super disappointing. You know what that means? Scalpers. That's just going to be scalpers. A message on the My Nintendo UK store reads that only players who are invited to pre-order the console will be able to purchase the GameCube controller. Exclusively available for Nintendo Switch Online members and will initially only be offered to those who pre-order. Okay, so you will be able to get it afterwards. I really want to get my hands on one of these. I have a GameCube style controller, but it's wired, so it's a little obnoxious there. And then some of the original Switch games will get free updates. Some of them will be paid. I think it's paid if you want the ones that have extra content. I think just for like performance updates, most of them are going to be free. ARMS, Captain Toad, Odyssey, 3D World Bowser Fury, Clubhouse Games 51, Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, Game Builder Garage, Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Pokemon Scarlet Violet, which are big. Hopefully those are like significant performance upgrades. Big Brain Academy, Pokemon Legends Pizza, Jamboree, Breath of the Wild, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Forgotten Land, Metroid Prime 4 will all receive Nintendo Switch 2 versions. So those are going to be, I think, paid instead of just upgraded. By connecting your Nintendo Switch to the internet, you can download free updates, improve performance, or add support for features such as game share and select games. So it depends on the game. It's going to be a tricky road ahead here. But what I will say is, I think that's it for today. I think we covered everything. We did go longer than I expected, but cutting this down should be shorter once we cut this down. Not a lot of stories, but a lot of Switch 2 stuff. A lot of Switch 2 stuff. Damn, $450 is that's a chunk of change. That's a big chunk of change right there. But we'll see what happens. For now, thank you all for hanging out for Casual Game News Friday. We're gonna set up for some games in a little bit, but make sure to check out the links in the chat. YouTube, Twitter, Discord, TikTok. We'll probably have this video. I'm gonna try to have this video up Sunday. Latest will be Monday evening or Monday middle of the day, but Sunday, I'm shooting for Sunday to have this video up. But thank you again. You guys have been great as always, and happy birthday, AK.